Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Comstock channel. I'm Marlin Bowling with you. I'm glad you could join us here today. As always, be sure to like this video, be sure to subscribe to the video, and feel free to share it with those around you to help pass on the message here. I am so honored and pleased to be joined by a gentleman from the Netherlands, and I'm talking right now with Guus Queisen. And in the U.S., Goose, I guess they would pronounce it Gus. But anyway, I am so pleased that you could join me here. Goose happens to be a freelance ag journalist, and he lives on a farm in Holland, and he also is fairly new member of the parliament in the Netherlands there. And he joins us right now because I want to get his viewpoint on what's taking place with all the farm protests in the European Union. Goose, thank you for being on the program here. I know right there where you are, I believe they had some of the earliest farm protests, didn't they? Gosh, it's been at least a couple of years ago, I believe, where the farmers would go out with their tractors and protest. And if you would, can you explain to my audience why are they doing these protests, and are they having much success right now?
Now, the protest started in Holland about 4 or 5 years ago, and that was the problem that farmers couldn't get built out their farm because of I must say that in Belgium and the Netherlands, it's mainly the nitrogen measures. So they drive them on the streets. Always ever stricter rules, and it all ostensibly to strengthen nature. Hundreds of farms with cows, pigs, and poultry have to cease to exist, and nitrogen emissions may be considerable less on Dutch or Belgian farms than a farm in Germany or Denmark. But that was the start, and also the start of the Dutch political party, the BBB, that says for farmers and also people who live on the countryside. But now it's in the whole Europe are going farmers on the street with the tractors, and every country has its own problems. So in Poland, they have problems with low prices of wheat coming from Ukraine. In Germany, they have problems. They got some money back from the how do you say that? From the gas oil they use, about 20 cents each liter. In France, they got every year protest, and they have the most success. So the Dutch, the government of France doing, they live, they do good for the farmers in France, and now it is in Holland and in Belgium for the nitrogen. And I think, or because we have in June, we have to vote for the Parliament of Europe, and they are now a little be angry that the white parties will be bigger as the left parties, and now so they do now give some good things to the farmers, but I think it's only for the votes and not for the future.
You mentioned that there were so many regulations on nitrogen in Holland there.
Yes.
I have heard a lot of talk about farmers being heavily taxed on things like their fuel. Is that pretty much the same case in all of the countries, or is that more maybe in France or something like
Now
that?
the fuel price in Holland, we have the highest prices for fuel all over Europe. The farms have to pay €1.70 for 1 liter of gas oil, and they can't get any money back. In Germany, they get back about 25 euro cent for each liter gas oil they use to work on the fields. In Belgium, they call it wet gas oil, and that's about only €1 each liter. So there's a big difference between the countries. But in Germany, that the German government want to strike that the 22 cents for submission for the farmers, and that are the last, we call it the last drop in the bucket. So that at that moment they say, and now stop it. And what's the problem is that from European community, European Parliament, always come new rules, and the farmers don't know how to work with it. And okay, and always new rules, but no higher prices, and they have you must do for the nature and so on, and the products from I know beef from Argentina get for low prices here on the market, and the that hasn't high level, not quality level. So take the farmers from Holland, the Europe say we have the price of our product to produce is much higher as the price for beef or meat coming from Argentina. So when it is, it must also have the same production rules from what imported to Europe as what the farmers must work with.
As these protests continue, are the farmers having any success? Are they getting anything done as a result of these protests?
Yeah, the European Union are be afraid that because we have in whole Europe has to vote in June for the new European Parliament, and the opinion is that white parties will be succeeded, will have more votes. And now they were angry, so they say to the farmers, okay, we give you something you haven't to do. One rule is farmers in Europe must 4% of their meadows and the fields may not be used for sugar beets or wheat. There must be flowers. It's 4%. And now they say, okay, it's not necessary. You don't have to with that 4%. So they want to be the farmers will be quiet, but I think it is not enough. There are too much rules to live. The farmers can't. How much is it? They can't work as normal farmers. They have a lot of rules. So rules. Some rules say you do that, and the other rules say no, you may not do. So it's all they can't work on the fields because there are too much rules.
You work in the parliament there in Holland, and
Yes,
you're a
in the
member
province
of
Limburg.
the largest ag organization, correct? How does that affect your work with the parliament? Are you having any success in helping to maybe change some of the laws right there related to farmers?
Yeah, no, yes and no. The whole politic, and we say it's like a big ship on the sea, and we try to get the ship a little from course. It's not a speedboat; you can't turn around,
Hmm.
but it's a big tanker. We are saying in English, big tanker, big boat, and only when you can 1, 2 degrees to the left or the right, we would be happy. It's because when you want in our province do something, they say, "Oh no, not possible. We have to listen to the European Union or to the Dutch Parliament." So it's not easy. But on a low level, we can help farmers, individual farmers, um, to get better rights and better life. But it's not easy.
I think American farmers are amazed when they see the videos of farmer protests in the European Union that they actually get by with it. why is it that the police don't block them from blocking highways and important routes? Um, do they have that much public support that the police will leave the farmers alone?
I think it's the when there are a lot of tractors, the police can't stop them. There's a discussion that some people say, yeah, the farmers come with big tractors, and they can't stop when they drive on the highway. But when they do some make trouble, the police will take them and yeah, to stop that protest.
Oh, so some of them, they do get
Yes,
in trouble then.
yes, and when you see the protest in France, they're
Mhm.
going with the buildings with straw on it or mud or I don't know what, but they are very, I think, not good. You have also for the public opinion to do it on a wide way and don't make troubles.
How long do you think these protests will continue?
I think some months. What is I say in June, there are the votes in whole Europe for the new European Parliament, and I think till then we have protests.
I think probably before too long, the farmers will be busy in the field for this year's crop, correct?
Yeah, okay. Well, I think also when the good weather will become okay, then they go to the fields. In March, April, then it will be lower protest. I think you're right. Because okay, they have to work on the farm, and at this moment we had a lot of rain since October in West Europe, so they can't work much. So okay, then they go with the tractor to the protest.
So, do you think anything like these farm protest actions in Europe, do you think that they might spread to the United States?
Oh, I don't know. I think here it's all in the European Union, but I told before there are a lot of rules and they can't work with it. I don't know how it's with the rules in the States. So I think not. It's especially a Europe problem, and all the problems grow up from Brussels, from the European Union. They can't work with the rules they make for him, and everybody speak about nature and on the politics about nature and water and but nobody talks about the food. Uh, we need the food, and they say when there's something happen in the Suez Canal and the ship is blocked, whole West Europe economic are getting down. And so I think also in history say we have we need food. So the food makers we have to support them. And well, a lot of politicals they don't they, they always think about only trees and nature, but not how to feed the people.
I believe in the world wars. I had heard that European people had to go without food
Yes.
for a long time, and the farmers seem to have a lot more support from the public there because of that. They know how important food is. And in the US, we really have never gotten to that point where
No.
there is
Yeah.
no food, right?
Yeah, and that also in 1944, in the winter of 1944, in the last year of the Second World War, there was a food increase, and then also say we had to need farmers, but the new generation don't remember it. So yeah, you may not say it hard, but there must something happen that farmers will be. We need the farmers. So but okay, they go to the shop, to the grocery, and everything they can build, but don't realize what must be do to get the products in the grocery. The milk come not from the cows, but from the factory. The eggs come from the factory. So it's they don't realize is what need to get that product there and who make it and so on.
Well, I thank you for taking time to help straighten out the story about what the farmer protests are all about in Europe. And it's good to hear from you. Hopefully, we can talk again in the future and maybe compare notes again. But I wish you all the best in your work in the Parliament there, and
Yeah, thank you.
in your work with the farm organizations there. And we hope you have a terrific year. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed talking with you.
Okay, thank you. You're welcome.
All right. Thank you, Guus. Guus Queisen, talking with us direct from Holland today to discuss what's going on with the farmer protests in the European Union. Well, we sure are glad you could join us here on this episode of the Comstock Channel. Well, for Brianne Hendrickson, I'm Marlin Bowling. I hope you have a terrific day. Thanks for joining us on our Comstock YouTube channel. Don't forget, you can also find us on Facebook and TikTok as well.